Orange chicken, the Chinese-American classic created in 1987 at Panda Express in Hawaii. It's sweet, tangy, and one of the most popular takeout dishes ever. Press start to continue cooking.
Here are our marinade ingredients for our orange chicken. We have about a pound or 450 grams of chicken thighs. Shaoxing wine, we'll be using an egg white, vodka, baking soda, and cornstarch. And, light soy sauce. Here are our ingredients for breading orange chicken. A little bit of baking powder, cornstarch, regular all-purpose flour, kosher salt. Here are the ingredients for our orange chicken sauce. We're gonna use some fresh squeezed orange juice with orange zest, some scallions for garnish, garlic, ginger, sesame oil, distilled white vinegar, light soy sauce, cornstarch, and just regular white granulated sugar. Okay, we're gonna add an egg white here, so get the egg white out. What we're gonna do is we're gonna beat this egg till it's not stringy and it's foamy. We are going to add our tablespoon of our light soy sauce. If you don't have light soy sauce, just use regular soy sauce, it's fine. You're gonna add 2 tablespoons of our Shaoxing wine and 2 tablespoons of our vodka. All right, give this a stir. Half of our mixture here is going to be added to the batter later. The reason why we do this is because we want to create a slightly damp batter that is going to have little balls of cornstarch and flour that will adhere to our chicken, and it will create a really kind of craggly surface on the chicken, and that will get more sauce onto the chicken. It'll trap the sauce. So now we have half of that mixture we just made, and we're gonna add baking soda and cornstarch now to this part, which is what the chicken is going to go into. So we will add 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. This is again to tenderize the chicken. You don't want to add too much baking soda. Usually 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon is all you need. And we will add 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. And now, whisk it up again. Whisk all the dry ingredients in until it's smooth. So our marinade is ready. I'm just gonna use my hands to scoop this in here. It should be like a really silky smooth texture, and you should feel the egg white kind of adhering to the chicken. The egg white is, of course, necessary because that's what's going to help bind the flour and cornstarch to the surface of the chicken. Okay, I need a 1/2 cup of orange juice. It may take a little bit more than 1 orange, depending on how juicy our oranges are today. Okay, before I juice this next orange, I'm going to take some orange zest. So I'm going to use a peeler here, and I'm going to get 3 about 2-inch long slices. Now, a lot of time, you wouldn't want to get the pith, right? Because the pith is the bitter part of the orange, but actually adding a little bit of bitterness is quite good. This is all-purpose flour. I'm gonna add a 1/2 cup, or about 70 grams. Okay, I'm gonna add a 1/2 cup of cornstarch, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, not baking soda, and 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt. I'm gonna whisk together my dry ingredients here, and then we're gonna do something weird. So remember the egg white, Shaoxing wine, vodka, and soy sauce that we reserved earlier. We're gonna dribble it in here and incorporate it, and it's gonna form like a bunch of little balls. And the reason why we do this is we actually want the little balls of flour and cornstarch and baking powder and salt, because they are going to adhere to the chicken, and they're gonna provide little crunchy bits and more texture to the chicken to catch the sauce. So you can see we've got these little dough balls. So as we bread this, so you can shake it off a little bit, and it's gonna have some of those little breading balls attached to each individual piece. Okay, so we have our chicken now. It is all breaded. I will show you. So as you can see the kind of, as my wife would call them, skin tags on the chicken, which does look gross, but I promise you will turn out really delicious. Sorry about the dirty oil. If you guys are watching the YouTube video, I already made Mongolian beef in here, which is why it's dirty. So just instead of complaining, go watch that recipe also. So I'm just gonna lay these gently without splashing myself with horrifically hot oil. So we want this for about 4 minutes. This is going to be something we fry twice. You do not have to fry it twice. However, it will be extra crunchy if you fry it twice. So this has been in there for about 4 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and put it down. And as you can see, what Kenji's recipe gives us is this really like a lot of nice deep cracks and valleys in our fried chicken for the sauce to go into. And again, we are going to take this out, put it on the paper towels to dry, and then we are going to refry it again once it is cool. While we're waiting, we'll make some sauce. Here we go. Half a cup of fresh orange juice, 3 of our 2-inch long orange zests. I'm going to add a lot of sugar to this. 4 tablespoons, AKA a 1/4 cup. Keep in mind, there is also sugar in the orange juice. We want it to be sweet and sour, so white vinegar is going to go in. I'll use 3 tablespoons of white vinegar. You could also use Qingqiang vinegar or a Chinese black rice vinegar. So we got a teaspoon of our sesame oil. We love cornstarch. Boom. This is a thickener for the sauce. So the combination of the sugar and the cornstarch, when we heat the sauce, is going to thicken it because we want to have that very goopy sauce to go on the fried chicken. That's what makes it good. And we need 2 tablespoons of light soy sauce. There's not a lot of point to whisking this right now because it's going to take heat for the sugar to really dissolve, but we can suspend the cornstarch in here a little bit. Okay, we got to mince some ginger and garlic. Get it ready for our sauce. We want approximately equal parts of garlic and ginger here. I probably minced a little bit too much ginger. Okay, so we're just heating up a little bit of peanut oil in here. I'm going to add my ginger and garlic. So I'm just making sure this doesn't brown, but we want to get all that nice ginger and garlic flavor into the oil. And you only need about 30 seconds to do that. I'm going to give this a quick swirl. This is our sauce. You want to make sure you get all the sugar out of here because there's still going to be a bunch of granulated sugar in the bottom, and we want to get all that in there. What we want to do is I'm going to turn up the heat now to maybe medium-high, and we want to start to reduce this till it has a more syrup-like texture. So it's too watery right now, and also what heating it up is going to do is help us dissolve all of the sugar that we put in this into the liquid. As you can see here in the sauce, it's bubbling nicely and it will reduce pretty quickly. And what we want is for it to coat the back of a spoon nicely, which that's pretty good. All right, here we go, 375 on the oil. This is going to be a very quick fry. We are also going to do this in batches, guys, so I'm gonna do it half and half. Ow, I burned myself, it's inevitable. We're doing it half and half. Only do this for a couple of minutes. The second fry is just to make it even crispier. You do not have to second fry it if you don't want to, but you really, really should. Here's the difference in terms of reheating them. This side of the tray that's more golden brown has been recooked a second time, and you can see it's like really crispy on the outside. This is still crispy, but it's a little less crispy, and this side of the tray is a more pale yellow. I'm just gonna reheat this sauce really quick. So this is our orange chicken sauce. As you can see, as it's cooled, it has gotten a little stickier. You can also throw some red pepper flakes if you want it spicy.
No.
Which I will not be doing because of my wife, not because of my own personal preferences, let it be known. And then we're just gonna take the sauce here, now that it's warm, and pour it over everything. Okay, so now we have our orange chicken sauce, and we're just gonna use, I'm using a silicone spatula because it's nice and gentle here, and I don't want to destroy my nice crispy chicken, but I'm gonna go ahead and mix it here. All right, here you guys go. Here is our orange chicken. What do you think? Susie, would you like to come eat a piece?
I would. So the double frying, I think is good because it was so ultra crispy that with the sauce, it keeps its crispness.
It's still really crunchy in spite of the liquid and the wetness of the sauce. It's really good though, because the nice thing about the combination of the zest and the bitterness of the pith and the freshness of the orange juice gives it a really good layer of orange flavor.